And I am here for a very specific purpose, and it is to encourage those of you who have not already decided to support Ron DeSantis as the nominee for the Republican Party. And there's a simple reason why. He does what he says he will do. He delivers like no one else I've ever seen. I've worked for a lot of good folks. I'm not going to go through the list. I've worked around a lot of good folks, but I've never seen anybody who is more committed to advancing conservative principles, standing up for his country, and delivering than Governor Ron DeSantis has been in Florida. He won by 1.5 million votes. Think about that. Do you want to be counting votes in Fulton County or Maricopa or in Miami-Dade? Or do you want somebody who wins by so many, it doesn't matter? Right. He won by 1.5 million votes. He won 62% of Hispanic voters. Think about that. It matters in Texas. It matters in Florida. It matters in Arizona. It matters here. He won 50% of single female voters. Think about that. How? Because he leads. Because he delivers. Because he responds to a hurricane and he delivers. Because he said he would take on the woke corporate establishment, and he didn't go up to New York and beg for money from all the people advancing the ESG stuff like a certain governor from South Carolina, respectfully. He actually took them on, and he took on Disney, and he won. That matters. It matters because that cultural war against our way of life, it is affecting our kids. And he took on Disney, and he won. He took on the corporate establishment, and he won. He took on the higher education establishment, and he won. He's driven crime down. He's responded to hurricanes. He's actually fought illegal immigration in Florida. He's sent people to help us in Texas. He has stood up to the regime of tyranny that unfortunately was advanced by the previous president under Anthony Fauci. That matters. It matters that Anthony Fauci was given a medal on the last day of office as President Trump was leaving. That ain't right. And he won't apologize for it. I'm sorry, that matters to me. And look, people say, well, you know, how can you question President Trump? Look, I love President Trump's policies, okay? I supported him. I fought for him. But it wasn't Governor DeSantis who was cutting a deal with Paul Ryan in 2018 for a crappy immigration bill that left us with the current laws that we have right now. That was President Trump. It wasn't Governor DeSantis who was saddling up to Anthony Fauci, leading to COVID tyranny, shutting the greatest economy in the history of the world down. It wasn't Governor DeSantis who racked up $6 to $8 trillion of additional debt by spending money we don't have and increasing interest rates and spending. It wasn't Governor DeSantis who was, unfortunately, advancing some of the policies by picking people like General Milley to be at the Department of Defense, where we now have woke policies that are undermining our Department of Defense and our Pentagon and driving recruiting down. Governor DeSantis has stood up and fought it every single possible way. And he hasn't given in to the woke establishment like certain Republican politicians have. And some people say, Chip, you can't question. Well, I can say this. We don't coronate people in this country. Amen. We don't, right? We have a process, and this is the process. We don't just automatically select somebody. We believe in principles, not princes. And that's why I stand behind Governor DeSantis. I've not met someone who is the right balance of someone who served, wore the uniform, is a father, is a husband, is a governor that has been successful, and he rode right into the sun on this. He flew right into it, knowing what was coming at him if he challenged President Trump. And he did it because he loves his country. We need 8 years of somebody who is young and energetic, who can take on the establishment in D.C. and win. I'm going to tell you something. I'm there, and I'm in the belly of that beast every day, and it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. The speaker's fight last year, all the things we got done, we just ran into the buzzsaw again with another continuing resolution and another national defense authorization bill that doesn't undo all the woke stuff, and another extension of FISA to continue the spying regime. That's your swamp in action. And Governor DeSantis has found every way to undo that in Florida, and he will do that in Washington. And to be clear, when certain candidates were saddling up with, for example, the United Nations and advancing more money going to Gaza and Hamas, when certain candidates were saddling up with Qatar, however you want to pronounce it, and the dollars flowing to Hamas, Governor DeSantis was saying we shouldn't do that. And he was right. These things matter. It matters who you have in the White House. And guys, we don't have much time left to turn this ship around. But we can do it. Back to my point about rejoicing. This country is great because of you all. We don't anoint anybody. We do pursue principles and not princes. This is the process. You are the princes. You are the ones who decide. You get to make the choice. Don't let the polls shape a view when you know what the polls were in 2016. Why would you look at the polls right now and go, oh, I guess it's all decided? No, it's not. You decide. You tell the media to take their polls where they're trying to shape your public opinion, and you tell them what the actual truth is. Okay? That's how this is supposed to work. It's purposeful. Don't ever forget that. It's purposeful. For 1 minute, you think that the polls you're getting from the folks in the back of the room there are actually informing you of what people really think. You know that's not true. Governor DeSantis gives us the best shot to win by a significant enough margin to give us a wave so that we have a House and a Senate and the White House to take this country back. And it all starts right here in Iowa. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it is an honor to be here. As you can tell, Governor DeSantis has my enthusiastic and unwavering support.